Go ahead and record, and we're going to get started. So good morning, everyone. I'm Perry Scholes, founder and CEO of Corporate Internship Leadership Institute. And we are here for the 10th Institute webinar series, Networking While in College. And I'm just going to go through a little bit about the organization. I think most of you already know this, but I love talking about what we're trying to get done here. So next slide. So we are 501c3, not-for-profit organization founded in 2019. And there's two really big buckets that we're trying to get accomplished here. One is to really clean up the ecosystem for students to be able to find paid internships. And so we've created a job board called Internship Central. And Internship Central is a place where employers who have paid internship opportunities can post jobs there for free, and interns who are looking for internship opportunities can go see those opportunities and then apply for them on that site. And it's all dedicated to everything paid internship. There are no free internship opportunities listed there. The second really most important work that we're doing is under the 10th Institute. And so I'll talk about our 10th Institute. Next slide. On the we have a talent pipeline. And that talent pipeline, when we grow up to be full-blown adults, is going to have three really big buckets associated with it. The first one is what we look at the residency, and this is really kind of getting to students in that freshman, sophomore year, and really beginning to talk to them about career opportunities and career opportunities in and around where they live. And those internship opportunities will be taking students into corporate headquarters, corporate campuses to meet executives and department leaders to learn about job opportunities inside those companies. One of my favorite examples to give is I think about Ochsner Health or Entergy. You know, those companies are large. Most people think about them as either providing energy or providing health services. There are a ton of accounting and marketing and legal and sales type opportunities in those organizations that sometimes students don't even think about when they're thinking about their careers. And so within the residency program, we're really trying to make sure we bring students to those corporations. And then most particular, we want to make sure that executives in those companies see our students of color at their best, presenting themselves knowledgeable and ready and keen to take on any opportunities that exist in those corporations, companies. So we'll also be doing personal branding, wellness training, and business etiquette during that residency program. Our next program is internship program. We're really excited that we have selected our first group of fellows who are absolutely fabulous. And so those are juniors and seniors. And juniors and senior level, they're more mature in their process. At this stage, very focused on career and career path. And so our organization is helping them find internships that are anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks in length. We're hoping to make sure that we get 2 summers under the belt. We know from focus groups and talking to other interns that the first summer, the student sometimes doesn't know exactly what to expect. But second summer, they're more intent. Their ability to connect what they're learning academically to the experience on the job is clearer, and they're able to work away with lessons learned that really help them with job hunting and interviewing and having something relevant on their resume. Also in this program is an individual approach where the students have coaches and mentors. We're working on professional branding, financial wellness, and again, these are also paid opportunities for our students that are fellows that are in that program. And then lastly, as our students leave college, we don't want them to leave the 10th Institute or CILI. So we think it's really important to have a connection still in those first few years as a professional, to belong to an organization where you have coaches and mentors still helping you frame up how things are going at work, a path and a place to go and talk to a mentor, talk to a coach, and then particularly around financial wellness. At this point in time in life, that young professional is probably making more money than they've ever made in their entire life. And so having an understanding of and skills and knowledge about financial wellness and how to go about building wealth in their family, that sort of changes the family dynamic going forward. So this is our talent pipeline and that we focus on here in this organization. So a lot of fun, a lot of building going on. And like I said before, we're thrilled to have our first cohort of fellows. So next slide. We're here this morning to talk about how to network in college. And so I am thrilled to be partnering once again with my turning out to be one of my best friends and Dr. Minor, colleague, HR counterpart, who has a tremendous amount of knowledge and passion around developing young professionals. And so she's here this morning for us to talk about how to network in college. And so we're going to jump right in. So Dr. Minor, tell everybody about your consulting practice and kind of what you do, if you will, and then we'll start talking about networking.
Okay. I am Dr. Jacqueline Minor, and I am a human resource professional with 15 years in industry. I currently have my own consulting company, Minor Consulting Group. It is an HR and industrial and organizational consulting firm. We actually have platforms where we assist small business owners, small to mid-sized business owners with consulting in the fields of HR. We do have some IO psychology consultants on board. We're able to look at a deeper dive into analytics and, people strategy. We also have a platform for career coaching, which is one of the reasons why we're doing networking. That is a component of the career coaching process.
Mm-hmm.
We actually we're helping individuals with finding employment, interview preparation, mock interviews, resume writing. We also have a platform for professional development. So we're doing training and development components where we can come into organizations to do training, seminars or networking events. Also on the individual level, doing professional development. We do have consultants who help with that. And we also have a specific platform for industrial and organizational psychology graduates. It is a mentorship program for those persons pursuing degrees in IO psychology, whether on the master's level or PhD level. So it was such a struggle sometimes to, connect with people that are, when you're going through your doctorate like I did. And I was just really passionate about trying to help the students along their journey. So really, even though that's on the graduate level, it's still one of those things where I felt very compelled and very energized by the opportunity to help the CILI, because it is dealing with helping develop, the students and making them aware or workforce readiness. That's something that's very important. And I think the sooner we start with that, the better opportunity people will have to be successful once they actually enter the workplace. So that kind of ties into my passion for the consulting firm that I do have.
Awesome. So you've got some information you're going to share with us around networking. So let's just jump right into that. And then if you have any questions, anybody has questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and then we'll make sure we can get to them. So we'll make sure that we keep this as interactive as possible.
Right. So Harry, during this presentation, some things that we'll be covering will be learning network basics, different types of networking, the importance of networking. We'll also go over some marketing tactics, specifically when you're networking on social media. The LinkedIn platform is a very lucrative minefield of experts and people that you can get knowledge from, as well as make some meaningful connections and during networking. And we'll also look at networking for jobs and internships. So the first section that we're going to be going over is networking basics, types, and importance. I've actually worked with Right Management, which is an outplacement service for those persons who may have been displaced from work due to layoff or, in this instance, COVID. So I a good working relationship and have found some very valuable tools from them, and I will be sharing some of that information here. When you're doing some basic networking preparation, having a 30-second commercial or the elevator pitch is very important at this juncture. You want to have your 30-second commercial ready, so when you network with people, you can give them a short statement of who you are on a professional level. 3 key components or elements include your brand, who you are, accomplishments. This helps individuals understand your competencies, which should give them confidence when referring you to their network connections. And goals, your career aspirations. It's important for your network to know your background and the jobs you're targeting, because they are better able to refer you, provide resources with your job search. Next element of that is going to be your LinkedIn profile. With a show of hands.
Dr. Minor, can I interrupt just a second? So 30-second commercial. So, I'm in college, I don't have, a career yet. So if I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking I should be able to talk about, like, I'm a junior, I'm a senior, I'm like, if I'm taking, computer science or, chemistry classes that, I'm really excited about, chemistry 509, here's what I'm learning, right? Is that kind of what you're talking about? Something that just kind of takes my personality along with some of the things that I might be doing, that when I introduce myself to someone, this is the things that I'm kind of communicating toward them in that 30-second sort of commercial.
Right. When you're starting out, as you said, you may not have a lot of work experience. So you really are wanting to hone in on those, so far as what you aspire to do or the field that you're looking to get into.
Yep.
Because that way they can better understand, where are you trying to go? What area are you really wanting to focus on?
Yep.
So if you can share, what your major is, that you're excited about, going into chemical engineering and working for chemical plants, or those are some concrete things that will help your person that you know in your network, or people that you meet, to really fully understand what direction or scope that you're wanting to go into. You can also, when it comes to the accomplishment, you can also list certain things that you're active in the community or at your university. So those are things that you're proud of.
Our personal life, like,
Right.
Youth minister, or, I'm in the leader of a club or what have you, right?
Right. So, and any awards that you may have obtained. So if you, I know with one of the fellows, they entered a contest in doing a canoe. Kevin, I think that was you. And they won an award when structuring that. Because it's a challenge.
Yes.
So a major accomplishment.
Yep.
to definitely look at.
Yeah, so I think we're saying, you know, even wherever you are in stage in your life. Now, you know, I remember when I first started my business, it was hard for me to say I'm an entrepreneur because I had been in a career for such a long time. So I think, you know, if I'm going to school and I'm getting a degree in, you know, chemistry or computer science or whatever, you know, I think one part is being comfortable saying, I'm a computer scientist. I'm a developer. I am, you know, a food scientist. I am, you know, whatever. Making a statement there with some level of confidence, even though you're still learning in that field, having some comfort level, right? Would you agree with the?
I would, because typically what they're telling you to, when building your 30-second commercial is to tell them what you are. You know, as you said, if you're an aspiring mechanical engineer, then it's like, yes, I'm a, you know, undergraduate student pursuing chemical, I'm a chemical engineer. Or I'm looking into going into, you know, I consider myself a structural engineer or a mechanical chemical.
Yep.
So that way, that further simplifies like your title. So for me, I'm a human resource professional with an IO background. So that's what I am. That's
Yep.
my point.
Yep.
So you
That's
definitely
kind of your tagline.
right.
Absolutely. Great.
It is a tagline, but you only want it to be something that's 30 seconds because it's just a high level overview of who you are, some of your accomplishments, and your goal in life. So like, I have a goal to publish a journal. That will happen within the next month.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, things like that will help people to better understand your competencies, who you are, and where you're trying to go.
And the only last thing I'll point in is power language. Like, I'm trying to do this. I think I want this. Those are not powerful phrases, right? And so you can give away your power by using phrases that undermine what you are. You know, would have to have some sort of confidence in that piece, right?
Right. Yeah. But sometimes we are not conscious that we're doing that. I have had conversations with people who said, oh, well, I have imposter syndrome. I'm not quite sure how to get over that. And I said, look, if this is your area, this is your lane, this is what you do, and this is you.
Yep.
So don't shortchange yourself and your abilities because that will come across to a potential employer, for instance, that you lack the confidence to say, this is who I am, this is what I can provide to you, and this is where I can take your organization and or corporation.
Yeah, you just gave the employer the reason to move on to the next candidate by saying I'm an imposter or I'm not sure about myself, right?
Right.
So
I can tell you right now, the job market is very tight.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to show why they need to hire you over someone else.
Yep. Great. Awesome. Thank you for indulging me on that 30-second commercial thing.
Not a problem. Right. So the next area is your LinkedIn profile. With a show of hands, if you can use your button, how many of you have LinkedIn profiles?
I do.
Yay. I see 2 hands.
Awesome. All right. So I would encourage those persons who do not have LinkedIn profiles to, if you are a fellow, to work with your coach. You can also, if you're not in the 10th Institute program, you're always able to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm more than happy to set up a complimentary consultation with you to get you started with your LinkedIn profile. That's how much or how important it is to have one. The slide that I have up now is actually part of an infographic that I have shared with individuals that patronize my service. Some of them have not had that strong visibility on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is by far the best networking platform that you could utilize forever. So that's why it's very important to have a LinkedIn profile and not just having one. Some key components that let people know who you are and your brand is writing a strong about section paragraph. So if you are new to the workplace or you're still a student, this section is an excellent opportunity to tell people who you are, which reiterates your 30-second commercial. You know, tell them what your brand is, what accomplishments you've made, and also your career goals and aspirations. So this is a section where you show your full self. You know, don't hold back, because this, as you can see, passion, determination, and drive lead to success. So that's the first thing that I would suggest for anyone that has a LinkedIn profile. Take a look at your about section. If you don't have one, you need to have it. The second thing is you're needing a very catchy headline. So in your headline on LinkedIn, if you're an aspiring mechanical engineer, for instance, that should be your tagline.
Yeah.
You know, for Perry and I, for instance, if we are entrepreneurs, one of my taglines is certified talent optimization consultant who helps organizations with innovative HR solutions. So that shows a potential employer or client that, oh, wow, she's not only a certified talent optimization consultant, she can help me with innovative HR solutions for my company. So I just told you who I am and what I can do for you. So it needs to be newsworthy. You know, stop the presses. This is who I am.
Mhm.
And then the third thing that I strongly suggest to people, I see too often that a lot of LinkedIn profiles do not have a photo. Typically, your 60% of people will click on a photo or connect with someone with a photo. So, you know, make sure that if you have a photo, that it is on a neutral background to where people are not distracted with what's going on in your background picture. And it should be a full frontal view of yourself, you know, and smiling. Usually when I'm connecting with people, when they're smiling, it makes me have a more warm and fuzzy feeling, and an eagerness to read more of your profile. So those are some of the tips that I have when creating your LinkedIn profile.
Can we embarrass someone? Um, can we embarrass Kevin when
Yeah.
his LinkedIn profile is the bomb? He's got colors, he's got banners. It's absolutely amazingly well done. And so shout out to Kevin. We're making you embarrassed.
Go ahead. I had a feeling this was coming eventually.
Yes, great job. And the other thing is, as we talked about in class, is you know, ping all of your other peers in your college or whatever. It's particularly, you know, 10th Institute. Make sure that they're part of your network, and start to build a network. And then I would also say that your LinkedIn, you should have the app on your phone to make it easier for you to engage on a daily basis. You know, if you got Facebook and Twitter and Instagram on your phone, you should have LinkedIn. You're at that stage in your career where professionalism should be a daily dose of what's going on. And there's lots of very positive, business-oriented, professional development things going on LinkedIn. And so that's where you engage. And I've seen some interns do some amazing things that they're posting every day about things that they're learning in their internships. And then I've followed them because, you know, they're a young person who's talking about what they're learning in life. And, you know, I'm, you know, inspired by what they're doing at that age. So build it and actively engage in it.
Right. Because I think the other thing that a lot of people kind of take for granted, even as adults or professionals, is that they feel like LinkedIn is just to find a job. But that isn't the case. I have built some very strong relationships with people, not only here in the US, but globally. So there are a lot of opportunities to get insight from other people, knowledge sharing. And what happens is when you start early enough in life, you'll create a network of people and you'll be so huge that you're just like, wow, you're coming up on people's feeds and they're sharing your information, which further solidifies you as a subject matter expert. This will become more important once you start working and getting more knowledge. So like myself, I have over 2,600 followers. And, if there's anything that I'm doing is trying to create awareness on certain areas, share information in regards to the human resource field. There are also various levels of groups that you can join that further helps you to develop yourself professionally. And just getting knowledge. I have a lot of graduate students that reach out to me who are industrial and organizational students, and they're not quite sure what career path to go into. So a lot of times, if they don't understand or realize that human resources is a parallel to Iowa psychology, and that they should really be looking into going into those, that career field. So joining those groups of human resource professionals, they can kind of see what's going on. Like, hey, that's an interesting post, and let me kind of dig more into that. And that also helps you to really make sure that that's an area that you want to go into. Just by seeing and engaging on those various posts. So, Giselle, did you have a question, madam? I see that your hand is raised.
Yes. Right now I go to Suno and I'm a junior. I did an internship for the city and it wasn't really helpful for me. I was basically checking people in at the front desk and of a gym, and I complained to the director about it, and they were telling me that they would move me to a certain department eventually later down in the internship, but it never happened. So I've just not had great success with finding internships, and I'm not sure if it's because of the university that I'm at, because I was going to Xavier, but I transferred, and I feel like a lot more people were getting exposure to internships than where I'm at now. So how can I do something about it?
Yeah, can I chime in there, Dr. Minor? Yeah, because this is really a big passion of mine. I don't think the school matters. I think you've attended two really stellar universities that are doing great work. And so what I would say is what we're trying to do in our organization is be very specific about who we're partnering with and where. All internships, I know from research, are not created equal. And I think that what I would say to you, if you're entertaining going to another internship, it would be to ask questions up front to figure out, what the internship is going to be about. Because you do want to walk away with something that's relevant, that's going to help you build out your resume, and they're all not created equal. And so I would say, just like a job opportunity, figure out what it is that is inside there before you go in there, right? And then the other piece I would say is one of my perspectives about work. I take every opportunity, job-wise, assignment-wise, as a laboratory experience. to sort of figure out like what's going on around here. You know, what is my opportunity to process, improve, or leave this place that I have been invited into better than where I found it before? How do I leverage my knowledge to learn something more about that? So even take that instance in what you were doing to say, if I would go back, let's dissect what that opportunity was. Is there an opportunity to lean a little bit heavily into it to figure out where there might have been more growth opportunities for you? Now, obviously that's going to come with having a coach. That's one of the particulars about our program, is that we do in fact have coaches that can help you sort of lean in and figure those things out. But you know, the internships are just like jobs, research beforehand. And if it's not going to work for you up front, your gut says, oh man, this is going to be like making copies and delivering coffee. And even as an intern, you have to say thanks, but no thanks. I'm going to go do something else. So,
So just recap on what Gary said, or add to what he was saying. During that initial interview for the internship, make sure that you ask those necessary questions, and also let them know that you're really wanting to focus in your area of study. And if for some reason they tell you, well, you know, we only need somebody who can do copies, then you thank them for their time and their consideration, and you look for something else. So I think that that's an added piece, to make sure to ask the necessary question. And if it doesn't line up to what you're wanting to do, it's okay to not pursue it.
I know it's hard. We've done the research. We've talked to a number of different interns before we started this program and trying to build it and, you know, understand the problem before we try to fix something that we didn't understand. And it is difficult to find internships and ones of quality. And so I totally understand this experience. And again, that's one of the things that we're working desperately to sort of so one, I want to go back to the LinkedIn profile and just sort of say, you know, we're all busy. Even as college students, you have a ton of stuff on your plate, whether it's your family and your coursework. And so, you know, we're not saying you need to dedicate hours to LinkedIn. So I would say to you, one is make sure it's on your phone. So if you have 5-minute break, 10-minute break, like things, share things. If there's a job opportunity that's posted and you think, oh, that's a neat job, but it's not for me, you can share that with your network. Say, hey guys, I think this is a great opportunity, right? That's ways for the person who posted the job to go and like say, oh, that person's pretty cool, you know, for sharing my job with their network. Comment on things, you know, if there's something going on, say, oh, wow, that's a great, you know, comment. I never thought about that. Or yes, I follow that principle. Very basic things like that is activity that will ramp up your activity and then ramp up other people looking at your profile to see, you know, who you are and what you do, and then start to engage with you because you're making maybe like-minded statements. So I would say, you know, likes, forwards, shares, very basic comments. You don't have to write a novella, and you don't have to recreate content and have this whole content production thing going on every day. Just really basic stuff.
Right. And we'll discuss some more marketing tactics specifically around LinkedIn a little further in the presentation. All right. Does anyone else have any questions on the LinkedIn profile? Giselle, you can lower your hand. I don't want to get confused here. Okay, so the next slide is pertaining to a networking brief. This may be something new to you all, so I'll go over it. It is not your resume. It's more so a snippet or brief overview of your qualifications. So a networking brief should not be blasted out to your network. It should be used during one-on-one conversations. Network connections, not staffing groups or agencies. And it should be emailed to your contact prior to your one-on-one meeting. So a networking brief is a one-page document that provides a brief glimpse of your brand, your background, and your career goals. So, so you want to have a branding statement. If you don't have a lot of solid work history, you want to list some major accomplishments in this section, as well as your future career path. So everything is kind of hinging back. Remember that 30-second commercial. So this is expounding upon that 30-second commercial, adding a little more meat to the bones. So some questions you can ask during your meeting. Let's say if you're connecting with a new, making a new connection, you've asked for 15 minutes of your time. Some of the questions that you can ask during your meeting are, based on my background summary, what advice or guidance would you suggest? Whom else would you suggest I talk to? Or can you think of any organizations that might benefit from my skills and background? So this is engaging people that you may know or that are in your network, because you're letting them know, hey, I'm interested in trying to develop my career. Do you have any suggestions for me? So your networking brief is what it is. It's very brief, but it includes your brand statement. So whenever you're branding yourself, work history, if it's very minimal, any accomplishments, and then your future career path. So your career goals and aspirations. So always keep that 30-second commercial in mind when you're writing your network. Any questions on this one? Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to the 4 types of networking. As stated, 20% of job seekers found jobs via commercial job board. So everyone has basically, submitted a job on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed, but only about 20% of people find jobs this way. 80% of job seekers actually found jobs through networking. Everyone kind of hears the statement of who you know. So you never know who that connection you may have on LinkedIn, who they may know. And also 1/3 of job seekers found jobs leveraging LinkedIn. So again, LinkedIn is a very valuable tool. The first type of networking is social media networking, which we stated the networking platform for job seekers by far and the best is LinkedIn. Second type of networking is your professional networking. This includes former colleagues, managers, customers, or individuals from your professional organizations. The idea is to write down those key members that may already be in your network or those persons that you may know personally and reach out to them. You want to tell them that you're looking for a new job opportunity or internship and would like to solicit their help. Make sure you do not forget to have a copy of your most up-to-date resume ready, so it's easy for them to forward it over to potential employers on your behalf. The third type of networking is social networking, not to confuse with social media networking. So your social network are your friends, family, neighbors, people at your church or in your community. You want to follow the same protocol as you would with your professional network. Let people know that you're looking for a job. Solicit your 30-second commercial so that they know who you are, what you're looking for, as well as where you're trying to go. And lastly, the fourth and final type of networking is using local recruiters. This is probably going to be a little out of your scope right now, since you're just now entering into the job market. But just remember, once you start working and developing your career, local recruiters are able to get you in front of potential employers. Kind of like how with CILI, we're working with employers on your behalf. So a local recruiter is the same type of person or concept that the CILI program is using to connect you, to get you right in front of the door and in person. Say, hey, here are our candidates. You know, this is the cream of the crop. So they're walking you past the line, specifically from the job boards that don't show to be so valuable as networking tools. Next slide is going to be importance of networking while you're in college. Just a brief explanation of what networking is. It's establishing and fostering long-term relationships with people normally in your field. You want to also remember that you should always have a mutually beneficial relationship. So anyone that you're connecting with, it's not about what they can do for you. It needs to be a two-way street. With networking in college, it can lead to mentorship opportunities, like how we are trying to connect the fellows with mentors that are in your field. Also, it can lead to internship opportunities, career guidance. Anytime you're networking with professionals, they are able to provide you guidance in areas that you may not be aware of. Sharing some of the pitfalls that they may have encountered early in their career and help you avoid some of those. And also industry insights. When you're networking with people that are in the field that you're aspiring to go into, they may be able to provide some additional knowledge about the industry that you need to pursue, some pros and cons about the industry, and some information about, hey, you'll need to have some additional types of training if you're going into this industry. So when you're networking in college, it gives you a jump start. I kind of feel like I'm kind of behind the eight ball sometimes because, you know, I never knew LinkedIn wasn't around during my time. So when I was early on in my career. So these are some of the reasons that it's important to network now instead of waiting till later. All right, so now we're going to start to discuss some marketing tactics. These are some things that you can do to create that level of rapport with your person you're trying to connect with, let's say on LinkedIn. It's always a good idea to ask someone for advice. So if, for instance, John Grell is like, hey, I know Dr. Minor is good at doing resources. I'm going to reach out to her and see if she can kind of provide me with some insight on how I can find an HR internship job. Or maybe she has some information on one of the areas in HR that I'm kind of considering, but I'm not quite sure. So as I said, LinkedIn is full of subject matter experts, and you want to be able to tap into that whenever. Another strategy is to identify 5 to 10 companies that you want to work with. Connect with them and also follow them. Follow those professionals and their organizations. You can read different posts and articles from these professionals or the organization. They may be doing some charitable events or, recognizing, as Barry said earlier, you want to be able to comment, like, or share the post. That way, you are at the forefront of their minds. And if they do have an opportunity later on, they could be like, hey, you know what? Kevin's been following us and he's been commenting. He may be a good fit for one of our mechanical engineering positions. You can also create a portfolio or online website. This will help you to showcase your skills, your achievements, and your career goals. So if you're starting out as a new professional or a student, this will give them further information about your skills, and they have something to look at. So this is in addition to your LinkedIn. And then you want to stay in touch with your online connections. Like I said, you want to make sure there's a two-way street. So you always want to stay connected. I usually, if they have birthdays, anniversaries, I will comment, hey, happy birthday anniversary, or hey, happy birthday to you. Something simple to where you're always engaging with your online connections. I had a young lady who was interested in pursuing human resources, and she was a marketing student. I crafted a simple email for her, which is in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And it says, hello, Miss Jones. I see that you're an HR manager and wanted to seek your advice. I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in psychology and interested in an HR internship. I was wondering if you could share some strategies to overcome challenges when finding an internship in HR. I understand it is not easy to enter the field of HR, but would appreciate any suggestions. I am eager to obtain an internship in human resources because my true passion and desire is to interact and support people in the workplace. I appreciate connecting with you and look forward to your feedback. Kind regards, Sally, future HR intern. So this is a very interesting spin because it not only solidifies your major, they're able to understand that you're clearly seeking an HR internship opportunity. You've also shared that, you know, the reason why you want to go into HR. So you want to be very crafty when, you know, developing these emails, because that way it'll get person's attention and saying, you know what, they told me who they are. They told me where they're trying to go and why they want this position. So it's almost like a mini interview, but you're guiding them. Does anyone have any questions on the marketing? Minutes, we'll move on to the next slide. All right. So with this one, when you're building your connections or wanting to network and find jobs and internships, you always want to remember to build your rapport with people. You want to expand contacts, join social media groups. Also look for alumni organizations. Once you graduate, stay connected with that. Look at any school chapters that may be visible online, and also consider volunteering. Some other things that you can do when you're networking is to seek introductions. Harry may actually be connected to someone that I would like to be introduced to that could be a benefit to me that's not already currently in my network. So I would reach out to Harry and say, hey, Harry, I noticed that Kevin and Kurt are in your network. Would you mind providing an introduction for me? I would like to connect with them. And also, if you have connections that are in your field that you're looking to go into, you can ask for 15 minutes of their time because you'd like to know more about their career and how they entered into that. So people are usually flattered when we ask them for advice, or, you know, hey, do you have 15 minutes to spare? You know, I'd really love to understand your journey. You know, how did you get to where you were? So these are some additional things that you can do when you're looking for jobs while in college. Okay. So the networking for jobs and internships, as I said, LinkedIn is a great place to network and make long-lasting connections. There could be a time where you're not looking for a job now, but it could be 10 years later that you will be. So you want to continue to stay connected to your network. It's good to connect with recruiters and HR professionals, especially at companies that you're aspiring to work for. So connecting with those 5 or finding those 5 to 10 companies that you really aspire to work for. LinkedIn is where you can look at who is in that organization and if they are on LinkedIn. A lot of times they have HR recruiters that you can connect in those industries. Or it'll list those professionals who are in those certain job types that you're looking to go into. So connecting with them and staying connected and engaging with them online. Make meaningful connections. Comment, like, or share posts that interest you from people in your network. By doing so, you stay on these people's minds and shows your knowledge on their topic. And also be thoughtful when sending connection requests. One include a note stating you'd like to connect for learning or information sharing opportunities. And finally, that is the end of the presentation portion for me. Like as I said, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. You can always send me an email, or you can visit my website, minorconsultinggroup.com, to learn more about our services, as well as, you know, if you're looking for career coaching or mentorship through your journey, if you decide to do graduate level study, feel free to stay connected with me at all times.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Minor. I'm gonna see, we can stop sharing the screen and then just sort of chit chat for the last couple of minutes that we have. Yeah, so great, really great stuff. You know, couple of things for me that are takeaways. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about LinkedIn. It is the professional place to get things done. I do personally enjoy, you know, LinkedIn. I'm on there every day at some point in time a day, during multiple times. It's on my phone, those kinds of things. And it's where I would say to you that I get a lot of personal, professional sort of inspiration from seeing a variety of different things. And particularly, I know you talked about groups. And how groups are used. You can connect to them, and you can learn different things from other people that are doing things online. I wanted to just go back to the whole idea about networking. Despite LinkedIn, it's not a transactional thing, and I wanted to just sort of get your thoughts about that, because sometimes people get into, oh, I need a job or I need an internship, and now I'm going to start reaching out to people. And I think genuinely, you know, people can see through that transactional nature of, you know, how you're approaching things. So, you know, I think if you're doing networking, one of my advice things is, you know, yes, seek advice, but also, you know, have something that may be of value that you can offer in exchange for something. And then my second sort of really big thing is if you commit to doing something, even in the LinkedIn, or I'm going to follow up, going to send you an email, or I'm going to share something with you, I think it's uber important to make sure that you write that down or you put it on your calendar and you actually follow up and you go through and you deal with it. Because, you know, the professional people or, you know, really kind of like, hey, you said you were going to do something for me, you didn't. So I have enough unreliable people in my life. I'm not trying to add any more, right? So if you're going to do something, you know, sort of make sure you follow up on that. So how do you avoid coming across this, the transactional piece of things coming across?
For me, like I said, I'm always very genuine when I'm connecting with people. So let's say if it's a human resource professional, and my note to them is usually, you know, hello, you know, I'm Jacqueline. I'm an HR professional and would love to be able to connect with you. There's a lot of things that I could possibly learn, and if there's any information that I can share with you, I'm more than happy to do so. Stay connected, stay in touch. So that seems like it's more so not only, you're just trying to get something, but, it doesn't come across like you're not being genuine. Like,
Mhm.
hey, I'm here to learn. There may be things that you could teach me, but there are also things that I'm willing to share with you.
Mhm.
So that way it does not seem transactional.
Yep.
It's,
Yeah.
it's earning opportunity, and you're connecting and networking with people that are in your life field. Because we always get connection requests like that. That people are, wanting to stay connected. Information sharing is huge on the web.
Oh, and the other pieces to LinkedIn, or technology pieces, their birthdays on LinkedIn. There's promotions on LinkedIn. There's new jobs on LinkedIn. So there's definitely ways for you to leverage that technology to engage with someone. I say happy birthday and congratulations all the time. At least once a day, I'm on doing some sort of, hey, attaboy, congratulations, awesome, see you growing kind of a thing. And the more people that I know better, the longer my comment might be with something very, very personal in nature. And then also, again, if there's jobs posted, if it's not in your area, but you think somebody in your network knows, right? So it's not like the person you're going to ask is going to cut your hair. It's the person that they know that they're going to introduce you to is going to be your cut your hair, right? So it's like everybody has a network, and making that connection is part of the network, is it attaches you to somebody else's posse or whatever. So really just think about it being engaging and don't stress over it. And just have a natural thing. And for those who are introverted, I'm an introvert. Networking on LinkedIn, I have an alternate personality that's very jovial and extroverted, all the time when I'm in social media on networking, things like that. So we're out of time. It's always great to connect on these topics, and want to thank you again, Dr. Minor, for being here with us, and thank you for your commitment to CILI and the 10th Institute and the work that you're doing with our fellows. It's really inspiring, and we love you for that. And to everybody who showed up today, thank you for participating, and we will be in touch soon. Our next webinar is on health, personal health, and taking care of yourself. So we'll have that posted soon.
Thank you, everyone. It was great talking to you today. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Okay,
So,
bye.
thank you. Bye.